Hey, I won't waste your time. Hey, us is where we shine. Teaching Tuesday. It's more than just another day. Teaching Tuesday. Find your answers in this place. Teaching Tuesday. Teaching Tuesday.
Hello, hello, hello. We are back with another How To Tuesday. Teaching Tuesday is now How To Tuesday. And I don't know about you, but this weather change has me really in the mood to just grab a blanket and chill. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if you feel the same way. I know everybody can't do that. But I mean, listen, this might as well be rainy days all day, every day. In fact, if I'm honest, I just woke up from a nap just in time. I just woke up from a nap just in time to talk to you great people about how to destroy your business in 30 days or less. Because I don't know if you know this, but there's so many people that have businesses that have no clue how to run them. And I'm not talking about the newbies. I'm talking about established businesses that ultimately need to evolve. And you know, there's something I used to talk about all the time years and years ago, say about 20, 30 years ago. I would talk about how survival is so key, and so many businesses, especially if they had success early on, don't understand that. They don't understand what it means to evolve. They don't understand what it means to do a new thing. And I remember going to an appointment at a local business, and you know, it was a family owned business. They had been really successful. And at that time, I was peddling my marketing wares. And it was so interesting because they swore they didn't need it. They absolutely swore they didn't need it. And now, you know, I tried to explain to them, and this has happened to me so many times in my career. I've tried to explain to people that, yeah, that's great that you've been successful. Marketing is not just for people who are starting out. And you would know that if you hadn't been put in a situation that, you know, you were kind of cherry picked. You know, a lot of times there are businesses that start and they're kind of cherry picked for success. Maybe they started in the 60s and they're Black owned. And because, you know, we're knee deep in segregation, they rose to prominence and rose to success because nobody else could buy anything that was Black anyway from anybody but you. So here you are, you know, 1980, 1990, 2000, maybe with this false sense of, oh, yeah, I got this. Meanwhile, the world is changing. People's needs are changing. People's access is changing, but you ain't. Yeah, I said it. Bad English, but I'm just going to keep it real. Right. And so that happens more often than not. And it happens in big businesses. It happens in established businesses. It happens in not for profits. It happens in for profits. It happens in community organizations. Anybody can fall prey to what I'm sharing with you guys. Anybody can fall prey. And so I felt like, you know, it's December 2nd. It's early enough in the last month of 2025 that we can talk about these things and, you know, I don't know, maybe help somebody. Maybe help somebody. And so, you know, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Stephanie D. McKenzie. I'm an award-winning marketer as well as a fractional brand and marketing leader. That means I do full-time work at a fractional cost. I also get the privilege and the honor of serving many organizations in this capacity, which means I do brand development, I do pricing strategies, sales strategies, a lot of things because I don't have a cookie cutter to offer you, right? I'm also a certified, multi-certified coach, and I have no cookie cutters to offer any of our clients. I don't have a 300-step process to 97-figure months. I don't have a 2-step process that everybody or a 10-step process that I feel everybody should go through. And so everything we do and everything that I do in my businesses and for other businesses is completely customized. I'm not saying, oh, we got to do this. I'm looking at the situation and trying to strategize and analyze how we get to where we want to go. So that's what I do. And I do that in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's group sessions, sometimes it's one-to-one, working with us privately in a fractional capacity. So many things. And so anyway, I won't dare run down the list. If you want to know more about what I call the weird work that we do, please visit stephaniedmckenzie.com and click on CMO, or go to stephaniedmckenzie.com/C as in chief, M as in marketing, officer as in O. And so let's get back to this, because as I said before, there's so many people who are running businesses, owning businesses. And even as someone who has done this a lot of times, I've even run a few of my own into the ground. And because of that, I feel pretty credentialed to teach you how to destroy some stuff. Notice I've never said I've run any of my clients into the ground, just my own. And part of that was inexperience, right? Because I've been running businesses for decades, but in the beginning, some of it's ego. And for a lot of business owners, a lot of organizational leaders, that's where it starts. Somewhere between ego and woundedness. And so one of the things that I see often that can destroy your business in 30 days or less is the condition of the leadership. The condition of the leadership. I wonder, can I put that on the screen? Let's see. Let's see if I can put that on the screen. Let's see, y'all. I think I can. Watch this. Oh, well, if I can put it on the screen, then I can put it on the screen. Hey, there we go. So one of the first things is the condition. For those of you who are taking notes, the condition of the leadership. That's going to be one of the biggest things. Can I tell you? That's going to be one of the biggest things that can destroy your business, because at the end of the day, the word leader gets tossed around about like the word friend. And what we have yet to understand is that just because somebody is in charge, that does not mean that they're a leader, because at its core, leadership means that you're taking people to a place, hopefully, where there's some sort of victory. And one of the things that we used to teach year ago about leaders is that leaders must have followers. Leaders must have followers. That's what we would say. And if you're leading, quote unquote, and you turn around and nobody's following you, you're just in charge. And the problem is that organizations, and I see this way too often, they will put people in charge who lack the credentials and the experience and the intelligence. And what do I mean by that? I know I don't mean that they're stupid, although yes, there are some people who are in leadership who are stupid. But they lack the emotional intelligence. They lack the level of empathy necessary to lead others. Because if you're in leadership to lord over people and to, make them bend to your will, that's your ego. That's your ego. And yes, you can absolutely be an egomaniacal leader. We see it all the time. We see it in big businesses. We see it in small businesses, right? But when you're the type of leader that destroys people because of your own insecurities, because of your own lack of security, I said that, no typo, because of your own insecurities and your own lack of security in your core competencies, in your capabilities, in your characteristics, whatever the reason is, if you're getting your rocks off by being the leader and, stepping on all the little people, not only are you a poor leader, but you're a craptastic human, and you're going to destroy somebody's business, possibly your own, from the inside out. Because make no mistake, just because you pay people, that doesn't mean that you own them. And you've got a lot of leaders out here that believe because they pay people that they own them. literally. And I'm like, oh, honey, we don't do that anymore. We don't, we don't own people. That's not what we do. But if you're putting, and I'll say this, if you're a leader that is hiring people that act like this, you are also the problem. You are absolutely the problem. And yeah, somebody needs to do something about you too. I'm just going to say it out loud. So the condition of your leadership honestly literally can destroy your business within a week. Egomaniacal leaders, wounded leaders, leaders who are mentally unwell and unstable. And I hate to be the one to break it to you, but someone can present as completely normal and be completely unwell. And you're not paying attention. Just as long as there's a warm body in the space, you got to care. You got to care that people don't take initiative. One of the telltale signs that your leader is craptastic is that people no longer take initiative. They don't want to do anything more than what they do, and then they want to go home. So bra freaking vote. Am I saying that people have to go above and beyond? No, not at all, because we need to enter a season where doing what you've been hired to do is absolutely the norm. If this is resonating, just put yep in the comments. But if people don't want to do anything, if people are not inquiring how they can help, it's easy to say, oh, that person's lazy. Oh, they're shiftless. Oh, they don't want to help. No, your leader's trash. Your leader is trash. And that needs to be dealt with before there's nothing to deal with. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but there are some people who are willing to go jobless. They'd rather go jobless than to be in the organization that you've allowed to develop. The condition of your leadership is how you can destroy your business in 30 days or less, or somebody else's. Next up, the C word. And people use this word a lot. Oh, we need to communicate. We need to communicate. We need to communicate. If I can tell you that communication is multidimensional, okay? Some research will say that 90% of communication is actually nonverbal. So it's not about the words, it's about the how, it's about the posture, it's about the presentation. And going back to your leadership is how your leadership communicates. But if there's no communication within the organization, if everyone is working in silo, that's going to destroy your business, because that means there's no collaborative efforts happening. That's what that means. There's no collaborative efforts happening. And if there's no collaborative efforts happening and people are operating in silo, then that means that opportunities are not being seized. That's not to say that you cannot work in silos and seize opportunities. You absolutely can, right? Welcome in, welcome in. But if all we ever do is work in silos, then the collaborative opportunities are veiled to us and veiled from us. Because there are things in collaboration, there are things that we can do together that we can never do apart. We're supposed to be stronger together. You're a movement by yourself, but you're a force when we're together. That's from the philosopher Fabulous, if you know anything about him. And it really kind of makes me like cringe a little bit whenever I think about him, not just because of the tooth, but because he is known to be an abuser. Yet and still, the lyric is still powerful. A movement by myself, a force when we're together. You want to destroy your business in 30 days or less? Create an environment and a culture where collaboration is not celebrated. Where there is no collaboration, there is no elevation. Opportunities are just going to slip through the cracks. And if you have a craptastic egomaniacal leader in place, they will characterize that as, oh, well, you've got to be careful of people that always want to put it off on somebody else. You've got to be careful of those people, whether they're quote unquote in leadership or not. You've got to be careful of people that do something I call self-haloing. There's actually a name for this thing, and I can't remember the well, actually, that is the name of it. It's called the halo effect. The halo effect in HR, and some of you are aware of this thing called the halo effect, where basically you put a halo on people and they do no wrong. And we've all done it. And the most dangerous part is when we halo people that aren't worthy of it, right? When we halo people that aren't worthy of it, like, oh my God, they're so great. They're not. They're not. And so the same thing is a self. I think a more dangerous thing is a self halo, where somebody's like, oh well, oh, it's not me, oh my God, and I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be something short of stupid to believe that there's a person in your organization that does no wrong. Wah. Everybody else is doing the wrong. Everybody else is wronging them. Blah, 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 blah. Don't you see it? Don't you see that this person may be a tattletale? You're not seeing it. It's not registering. It's not resonating. They're not doing anything. Oh my God, poor baby. Self-haloing is a red flag. It could also be a sign of borderline personality disorder. It could also be a sign of histrionic personality disorder. It could also be a sign of narcissistic personality disorder. Going back to the condition of your leadership. If someone is always the victim, that should be a red flag in business and outside of it. True leaders take responsibility for the role that they've played in the demise of anything. I'll be the first person to tell you, whenever there's been a challenge in my organizations with my people, if I didn't handle something the way I should have, not only do I apologize to that person in private, but if for some reason I displayed behaviors publicly, I will make public apologies. I will atone for that. I atone like a champ. But in order to do that, you've got to be healthy enough to be okay with being wrong. When people are triggered by correction, they are setting you and your team up for failure. Having these type of people in pivotal roles in your organization is setting you up for failure. It's setting you up for failure. And people don't want to talk about that. Here's a fourth thing. Here's a fourth way to destroy your business. Are you ready for this? Because it happens a lot, especially in social service and in social impact organization. And I guess I'll call this a lack of internal rewards. And, you know, where I first saw this, if I'm being honest, is in church. That's the first place I saw it. Because unfortunately, when it comes to ministry and church, you know, a lot of times people are being pimped against the agenda of the pulpit. And if the pulpit wants X, Y, and Z to happen, you know, if they want to go from 3 services to 4, I hate to be the one to break it to those of you who may be some semblance of a pastor. And pastor, while I'm here, pastor and minister are 2 different anointings. So if you're a pastor and you do this, you're part of the problem. When you want to make things happen and you lean on the narrative of great reward and God will be pleased, etc., 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 you are creating a culture that is void of internal reward. Well, why does that matter? It matters because when people are not valued, it goes back to a sense of value in the work that we do, right? Everyone is not motivated by money. Money might be one of their motivators, but it's not their key motivator, right? Because being money motivated can get dangerous sometimes, which is why people make the decisions that they make. Okay. Oh, many times, especially in the 21st century, those who are doing work, who are bringing their time, their energy, their effort into something, want to feel valued by the organization. They don't want some sort of ethereal reward that they'll get later for killing themselves by going from 3 services to 4 services, or doing double the work because they need to do an outreach, et cetera, et cetera. Leaders, pastors, whatever. If you're wanting people to do more, ask them what it takes to do it, because that is a huge part of how it gets done and how it impacts the culture that you have. And I'm not just talking to pastors. Again, I see this a lot in social impact, because it's like, well, I hope you're so happy with the work you're doing. You're really helping people outside of the organization. Okay. But what about the people inside of the organization? Are they being helped? Where's the internal reward? Do people feel valued? Do they feel used? Well, they're getting paid. That's not enough. It's not enough to pay people. I'm sorry. I don't mean any harm. It's not enough to pay people and not respect their emotional help. It's not enough to pay people and not respect their time. It's not enough to pay people and then allow craptastic humans to be elevated in organizations, to be promoted in organizations, to be viewed and lauded in organizations where everybody else knows that this person has been a source of friction, a source of conflict, a source of negativity. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And so what I'll say to this, right? What I'll say to this, guys, is that there's quite a few ways to destroy a business, your business, somebody else's business, in 30 days or less, right? This is just a handful of ways that it happens and is happening. What I want you to take from this is, and I'll give you one more before we go. What I want you to take from this is what you're doing in your organization. What's being allowed to be done? What kind of culture do you have? What kind of culture are you building? If somebody comes into your organization, what are you going to expect from them? And is that reasonable and rational? And have you set up the systems to support them? How do you ensure that people you work with, even if it's a vendor, because pretty soon, I'm about to address this, some of you are going to say, well, I don't have a team. I don't work with anybody. Okay, but you work with you. And like I said, before we go, I'm going to give you this. If you're a team of one of the surefire ways to destroy your business or somebody else's business, but in this respect, I'm talking about your business, in 30 days or less, is to keep doing everything. Keep doing everything. Keep doing every job. Keep being the marketing. Keep being the finance. Keep being the bookkeeper. Keep being the social media manager. Keep being the graphic designer. Keep being the this. Keep being the that. Keep being the idea factory. Keep being the head window washer. Keep being everything. And some of you will say to me, well, Stephanie, I've been everything for 15, 20, 30 years. Yeah, that's why your business isn't growing. That's why you're unable to step away. Oh, yeah, you can do it. But understand, it's just like in physics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So, yeah, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. But the consequences will come. And when you're ready to step away, when you're ready to do a new thing, a different thing, a better thing, you'll have no bandwidth. Most of you aren't sleeping. A lot of you listening to this that are teams of one, you're not even sleeping properly. And the reason why that matters is because that impacts your health, period. People who don't sleep well don't think things through well often. Can they do it? Absolutely. Should they do it? Absolutely not. If you're over 40 and you don't sleep well, guess what? Your body feeds on your muscles at night. Yum, yum. But you need muscle mass. I could go into all the health reasons. You know that. I'm certified in integrative nutrition as well as sleep science, meditation, mindfulness, and a few other things. So that being said, there's a storm that occurs when you're sitting on Rihanna's internet bragging about how you do all of these things and entrepreneurship is not for the weak. No, entrepreneurship is not for those who are unwilling to see the fallacy of being all things all the time. Sure, when you start out, that may be the case because you may not even know what you're doing and how to hire anybody. But if you're 10, 15, 20 years in the game and you're still doing everything, check yourself, because honestly, you've already wrecked yourself. We want to rise from that wreckage and do a new thing. Do something that somebody else can come into. Do something that you can leave behind. Do something that has legacy built into it. You know, I come on here every Tuesday just about, and I tell you how to and teach you something. And, you know, truthfully, not a lot of people tune in, and that's fine. I know a lot of people catch it on the replay. And, you know, there's a part of me that's like, well, Stephanie, why don't you just do it in the evening? I don't want to. I don't want to, and I don't have to. And so I don't. But ultimately, why I continue to do this is because somebody is going to hear this and they're going to understand why they haven't gotten where they want to go. And then they're going to trot on over to the stephstore.com or to the collegeofempowerment.com, and they're going to start looking through those offers, and they're going to finally say, you know what, I'm tired of doing this by myself. They may even join Founder Mind if we reopen it in January. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So by all means, again, you can very easily destroy your business or somebody else's in 30 days or less. A lot of it boils down to leadership, how leadership treats people, and what's tolerated, and the culture, the overall culture of the organization. And if you're just a team of one, you're creating culture with every decision you make. You're creating a culture for yourself, legacy for yourself, processes for yourself. And so hopefully something I said today makes you think and makes you rethink what you're going to do in this new year. New year, new you. Well, in order for it to be a new anything, you can't do what you've always done, because you'll always get what you've always gotten. And if that's okay with you, then great. But if it's not, and you think we can serve and support you in any way, drop the word help in the comments. Actually, drop the word yikes in the comments, and we'll get back to you, to you, to you. Have a beautiful Tuesday.
Have you been on a weight loss journey and the scale just isn't giving you the results you hoped for? Well, meet Thinner, an FDA-registered, all-natural, homeopathic approach that addresses the root causes of how to lose weight and keep it off, especially if hormones are an issue. If you're tired of all of the guesswork and doing it alone, scan the QR code for more info, and let's get you started today.